Here at Pressable Defects, we've been warning you for the last half a year, and finally, Knull is here.
What is up, Defects? It is your boy, Matt Forge, and we got a really special show for you tonight. I'm here with the Butcher, of course, and we are reviewing the first issue of The King in Black. But before we get into it, I want to do this really fast because we're trying to get this video out as quick as possible, and we're both really excited to talk about it. So we're just going to quickly flash the partners. You know, we have Express Comic Book Pressing Service. You know, that's Erod. Check his information in the description. And of course, our other partner, Mutant Beaver. Guys, check the information in the description of this video. There's discount codes. You guys know the deal already. And of course, as always, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. So, dude, let's just get into this. Jay, what are we doing here? What do we got? King in Black is here.
Wow, guys. First thing this morning, I hit my LCS. I grabbed the book. I parked my car about half a mile down the road in a little desolate parking lot, and I got to work. And all I could say is, wow. Everything I expected and more.
So, no, wait, guys, we're not going to do any spoilers right away. We're going to talk like 2-3 minutes. We'll give you a little 10-second heads up before we're going to get into the book and the meat if you don't want it to be spoiled. So, sorry, I meant to mention that at the beginning, but all right, what'd you think, Jay?
Whew. Venom been on fire. The first couple of issues leading up to Knull have been crazy. It kind of got a little crazy in, you know, the alternate universe with Codex and Annie Wayne,
Yeah.
But it is back. King in Black issue 1 was absolutely insane. If you have not read it yet, put down whatever you are doing and grab this because this is looking like it may be one of Marvel's best story arcs, and we're only into book 1.
Yeah, honestly, when we had such high expectations for this book, right? And I almost figured it can't live up to what we built it up to be. So when I first started reading, I read like the first, blurb, and I was like, this thing ain't going to be as good as we expected. So you get through those first few pages, which are just the preview, which we already kind of saw a few months back.
Yep.
And I was just like, I was blown away. It exceeded my expectations. The story was incredible. Cates killed it. Stegman and J.P. Mayer and Frank Martin killed the interiors, right? I mean, we talked about that. The colors, I mean.
Yeah, it's a perfect mix, guys. The story is great, and the interior art is insane.
It's bananas. They killed this. This is a great comic book. You don't say that often. This is like, I was literally like reading it and like feeling the feeling what was happening. Like it got me that good. Like it sucked us in. Pause.
Yeah.
But that shit was legit. It lived up to the hype. I think we got to just get into the book now. And we kept saying we weren't going to spoil or anything. So this is the spoiler warning. We are getting into what's happening and what's happening next, and the books that we think you guys that we're starting to pick up, just as a little bit of speculation. Hey, it's fun, right? Why not? So let's just get into this thing, right? Everybody, you've had your warning. You're about to find out what happened to King of Black.
You got about 3 seconds to get out of here. We're going to spoil it right now.
So, like Jay said, the first, I guess it's 5 pages or so, you have that preview that we already read. So we'll kind of skip through that. Basically, they know he's coming. They're preparing. The Avengers are preparing. They're trying. You have, actually, what I didn't notice, I mentioned to Jay earlier, is that when Venom, I think we have that screenshot, do we? No, we don't have a screenshot. It's all good. When Venom goes to pick up, when Eddie Brock goes to pick up Dylan to hide him, he's got a comic book on his chest, and it says Timely Comics on it. So that was a cool little Easter egg that Donny Cates dropped in there. Just respect to that. We move along, and we know that Tony thinks that he's going to use the satellites as bombs. He's going to kill the dragons. It basically doesn't make a dent. Nothing nothing stops the horde from basically swarming down into Earth. And then it basically starts. You got, and this is the first screenshot, Jay. You want to bring that one up? This is where the real story really starts.
So according to the comic, that was Plan A, and that totally went to shit.
Yeah.
Then he touches down, and this is what you got.
Boom.
The King in Black.
And good eye by Jay. What'd you spot there that we didn't see earlier?
Right in the middle, you got the Fantastic Four flying in, and it looks like it may be the X-Men on both sides, but definitely Fantastic Four in the middle. So, you know, when the Fantastic Four are involved, shit's going down.
Yep. So that's interesting because we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So basically, they keep going, and Eddie is they're trying to basically Eddie's trying to hide Dylan. Okay. And where's he hiding him? He's going to Peter and
it's a secret hideout that Peter revealed to Venom once he finally admitted the mistake he made bringing Knull here. So guys, go back and read because it came down to either Eddie, you know, giving up Dylan and Knull coming to Earth, or vice versa. Actually, it was, you know, one or the other. It was either going to be he had to give his son up and no Knull, or keep his son and Knull's crashing down on Earth. He made his decision, and thank God he did, because we wouldn't be reading this right now if he didn't.
Yeah. So as we're going, and this was another eagle eye by Jay, is he starts punching. Eddie starts punching in the code to let him in the room. And Jay, what's he punching in there?
So it caught my eye right away. He's punching in 616. So I said, okay, 616. We're on to something here. So if you notice in the picture, he's pushing the 1 digit. So 6161, the next digit he would press would be 0, and he's going right back into the Ultimate Universe with Annie Wayne and Codex. So I caught this. I knew the 616. I knew Donny Cates wouldn't just throw the 616 in there. I saw he was pushing 1. Hey, 61610 is the Ultimate Universe. So he might be sending Dylan back there with Codex and Annie Wayne to be safe while this is all panning out. Because we all know that Knull's here for Dylan Brock.
So is that an Easter egg? We have no idea, right? So we don't know. Is the chamber, we said maybe the chamber is really like, you know, I don't know, something that takes you through dimensions. We have no idea. It could be just an Easter egg. It could be nothing. So that was pretty cool. So now Eddie's basically saying goodbye to Dylan. Eddie shows emotion. He's like crying. And that's something that before Cates is Eddie Brock, you really didn't get that. This is a character that Eddie Brock is in this series is Eddie Brock that we've never seen. So I thought that was really cool to see how much emotion he was really showing, leaving Dylan there, knowing what was about to happen next. So now basically gets back to the action, right? The X-Men are touching down. The Avengers are touching down. They're fighting. They're trying to fight off these dragons. Some of the dragons are just splashing into the ground, making this like symbiotic ooze, right? And we see that later on. So we keep going. And all of a sudden we see Eddie, and we see, well, as Venom, he finds, and Jay, you could talk about this a little bit. He finds that, what is it? That Carnage left behind.
So in Ultimate Carnage, this is where Carnage was controlling his hives.
Yep.
In the sewers of the city. So Eddie goes back here and he wants to reconnect. He thinks
the Spire.
Right.
Sorry, I couldn't remember the name. Yeah.
Yep. He wants to go back and try to, you know, be in touch with the hive. And this is what he's doing now. And he's getting a vision, you know, he's talking to Doctor Strange right here. And in that last little panel, you could see him. He's freaking out. Oh God, run. It's not just the dragons. It's not just Knull. And right here, guys, you have
boom.
My man Knull is riding in on a fucking Celestial. Holy shit.
This shocked the shit out of me. I was not expecting.
Yeah, so guys, we were all expecting one of the Celestials to touch down because we've seen it in the Venom 25 wraparound, and we haven't seen it since. So we expected one, but holy shit, guys, 3. And he's riding inside the chest of that middle one. That is fucking insane. Donny Cates, God bless you.
So they're not just dealing with the Horde. They're not just dealing with Knull. They're dealing with 3 Celestials. Are they alive? Are they dead? Obviously, he doesn't control them all, but he obviously controls these 3. And like Jay said, he's riding in like a boss, coming out the chest of one of them. I thought that was pretty serious. The next panel, I think we didn't throw it up there, but Jay said this will be the second print and cover. The next panel, him stepping out of the chest. It's a dope picture. It's one of the best pages in the comic. Now basically everybody on the ground knows they're in trouble, and you start to see the faces change. Something not important to the story, but important to this week in comic books. Jay, you want to bring up that next panel? We found another little Easter egg in the back there.
And shout out to Matty Forge on this, because this is how in sync Marvel is with their writing. Check this out, guys. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, who do you got in the back there? You got Elektra, it looks like, and we're all assuming as Daredevil, which we know in Daredevil 25 just released this week. And now we know why it was released this week. We were wondering why it was released back to back. There she is in the background as Daredevil. So we thought that was pretty cool. That was interesting. Probably not important to the story, but like Jay said, very cool how all the writing is in sync.
Yeah, absolutely. The same day she appears in Daredevil 25 as Elektra appears as Daredevil, she appears in King in Black as Daredevil. So that's how in tune all of Marvel is with this storyline right now.
So now comes the interesting part, probably the best part of the story, really. And we're going to dive really deep into this one because we found some good stuff. The whole story, you got Tony and you got Cap talking about a secret weapon, the big gun. And we all assume we already know who it is, right? They tease Sentry. We figured this has got to be Sentry. And eventually Sentry shows up and everyone's smiling like they think this shit is over. They're like, sorry, Knull. Sentry's about to touch down. You're done. So Sentry enters. Enter Sentry. He blasts through one of the Celestials' heads, assuming he kills the Celestial, renders them basically. I don't know if they're dead already, but he destroys one of the Celestials essentially. And for the first time ever, I think, right, Jay?
Yeah.
We see Knull get emotional. Not emotional. He shows an emotion.
He gets pissed.
He gets pissed, and he's like, "You're gonna fucking pay for that." So basically, Sentry thinks it's a walk in the park. He starts like telling him his name. He's introducing himself. Fucking Knull catches up to him, grabs him around the neck, and the look on Sentry's face is like he just shit his pants. Well, go ahead.
The best part about this is before the Sentry, their secret weapon comes flying in. Cap says to Iron Fist, normally we're the last thing you guys like to see, but today we're here to watch, thinking that the Sentry's going to do all this work.
Just going to wipe the floor with him, but nah.
Nope.
So bring up that next panel.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. Yeah.
There it is, guys.
Bye-bye, Sentry. He rips Sentry in half.
Yeah, Sentry lasted all but 2 panels, and you're talking about probably the most powerful being in Marvel Comics, or at least one of.
He's in the top 3, you gotta assume, right?
Yeah, not anymore. We're looking like number 1 as
his arm is on one side of the page, his torso's on the other side. He ripped him in half.
Straight.
And this is kind of I think they're paying a little homage to when Sentry ripped Carnage in half years and years ago, right?
Correct. Yep, correct.
So, and Jay, what are we seeing in the middle of the page there? And what is Sentry saying in the top left-hand corner?
So in the top left, Sentry is saying, let me see here. I'm sorry, I got to go back 1. Okay, go back 1. He goes, no, the Void, you'll release him, and that's when the rip occurs, guys. And you could see the Void in the middle right there. And keep looking down, and you see that Void connect to Knull. And Matt picked up a great, great point. Matt, get into it.
Yeah, so, guys, you see it down at the bottom there. You see it wrapping around Knull. You see it going into his arm, and then you see his eyes are black. Guys, the rest of the comic, except for one small little tiny, and I'm sure it was a mistake. It was because it's not a close-up. It's a far-away shot. His eyes are no longer red. They are now black with this little bit of, like, I don't know how you want to say it, like essence that's coming out of the side of an eye. It's like red and black. So to me, this means Knull has now he's now supercharged. Like he's brought in he's reattached other pieces, but this Void was extremely powerful. And you could see that it has changed Knull for it's made him stronger. Yep. And on the panel, bring it up real quick one more time. The bottom right, Knull says, I am the void. So we're basically finding out, and I think we knew that already, that the void that was with Sentry, and we'll talk about that next, back in 2018, that was the Dark Sentry, that was created by Knull. And we're finding out slowly but surely, they're kind of rewriting Marvel history and showing that there's a lot of these things that we didn't know their origin, they're coming from Knull. These were Knull experiments. So, so let's talk about Sentry a little bit and
all right.
the void. I'll
pull up that panel, guys. It got hot. You know, these books got hot about 2 months ago when Stegman first posted that picture of the Sentry for the interior art on King in Black #1. Everyone thought this guy was going to be the god of light, that he was going to be the savior, that he was going to be the combatant to fight Knull. But it didn't go that route, obviously, as we just saw. It went the total opposite route, and he was destroyed.
And this is a picture. This is a picture from Sentry 4. Yeah. Sentry #4. This isn't from King in Black. This is from Sentry #4, September 2018.
Right. So correct. This is how the void entered Sentry. You could go back and read this book. We just pulled out this clip here. So you could see right there, Reynolds on the floor. He's not as the Sentry right now. And he's just Bob Reynolds talking to this entity. Sure enough, it looks just like Knull. You see those symbiotes behind him. That is the void, guys. And they go on to make a deal. The next panel up, you see Sentry connect to this void, and he
it looks like he's transferring something to him, right? Like he is transferring looks like Knull. That we're assuming that's Knull is transferring that piece of him, which is the void. Right. Go ahead.
Into Sentry, and that's how it comes to be inside him, and that's why Sentry tells him, "No, if you kill me, you're gonna release the void." And basically, Knull's like, "Nope, I'm just taking my ship back." And obviously, like Matt said, you see the power change. You see the difference in his eyes. They go from red to black. He has kind of like he said, something radiating off his eyes, and only made him stronger, guys. So back, when these books got hot, Sentry, was it 4 and 5, right?
4 and 5, yeah.
Yeah, just because of this reason alone. So, everyone went out, including myself, and grabbed this first appearance of Sentry. I guess that's out the window, guys.
First appearance of the Dark Sentry, I guess, or Void Sentry.
Oh, right, yeah, but I'm talking about the first appearance of even Sentry.
Even Sentry, people were grabbing,
that book got hot, and like I said, he lasted all but 2 panels.
Right, the 4 and 5 of Sentry, I mean, I don't know if they continue to have significance. They may, because that is still part of a Void, but it's not the first time we saw the Void, right? Not the first time we saw the Void, so we did a little bit more digging. So back in January of 2018, Donny Cates was writing for Doctor Strange. And in Doctor Strange 384, look at this. This is what they called the Void back then. They're calling this the Void. And dude, tell me that don't look like Knull's teeth. Tell me that don't look like a symbiote.
Absolutely. Absolutely both. And Cates ties all his shit together. And that's exactly what he did here.
So, is this the first appearance of the Void, or is this the first is this the first appearance of the Void symbiote? Whatever that Knull just absorbed. I have a feeling that thing is going to be re-released in some way, shape, or form. Kind of how like he created the Void Knight. You want to talk a little bit about the Void Knight quickly?
Yeah. So this was actually out before the Void Knight, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so it may be the same entity. I'm not sure, but this is definitely where I'll pull it back up again. Matt found this, man, and it ties into Cates. And this is right back to Doctor Strange 384 that was written by Cates. So look at that, guys.
Well, he used the Void Knight in Silver Surfer Black too, right?
Correct.
And that that was like one of his favorite, from what we could tell, that was like one of his favorite creations, and that thing was destroyed. So is he going to unleash this Void kind of how he did the Void Knight? So if that's the case, I think maybe Doctor Strange 384, maybe it's a book to pick up. It's already heating up. People already are making the connection. I'm not the first one to make this connection, obviously. I saw what was going on. I kind of started putting pieces together, and that's what happened. I went back. I did some reading. I saw this panel. I'm like, holy shit, that's a symbiote. It's got Knull's teeth, and they're calling it the Void. And Cates is writing it. So I think, guys, that could be a book. If you can get it for cheap, you might want to grab it. We don't know what's going to happen. I have that feeling that the void is not gone yet because those eyes, something's going on with Knull. So off a Sentry gets destroyed. Now everyone's shitting their pants. Basically, now that symbiotic ooze that's on the ground is just grabbing up all the Avengers. It's consuming them all. Now Knull looks even stronger. He just kind of blocks. He creates this webbing or symbiotic out. This kind of layer outside of Earth to block out all the sun. It almost looks like Clintar again. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So was he able to do that because he got the void? I mean, if you'll clearly see in the panels, his eyes are black and he's got that red shit coming out the side. So maybe he was able to do that because he's stronger now. So we got a little farther. Everything's falling apart. Plan A, Plan B, everything's out the window. Tony Stark knows this shit's a wrap. Venom knows. Eddie and Venom know they have one chance to maybe make something happen. So Jay, what happens next?
So Eddie and Venom have a moment. It looks like they're going to tell each other basically they love each other, and they basically, if you go back and read, guys, it looks like they know they're going to be apart because now they're headed into Plan C, I believe it is. And he's like, okay, it's time to meet our maker. And he's like, it's been a fun ride. They have a moment. They call out to Knull. Knull immediately hears him calling, plucks him up, grabs Venom, and he knows. He rips the symbiote right off of Eddie Brock. And basically what he says is, this ain't the right Brock. This isn't the Brock I'm here for. I'm here for your son. So that's right basically, there. Yep. You could see it right there, guys. We'll leave it up there so you could read it. And he's basically there. He remembers who Eddie Brock was. He remembers Eddie Brock destroyed his dragon in the first couple of issues of Venom. And then he's like, you know what? I'm not here for you. I'm here for Dylan. And that's it, man. Basically, that's how he rips the symbiote off him, throws him off the building. You see Eddie falling, and the next thing you see is to be continued. So
yeah. So he basically says, I should have specified which Brock. So now we're getting into almost 20-something minutes here, so we're going to wrap this up soon. But my theory is that Knull is after Dylan. We've talked about this several times. Knull is after Dylan because Knull knows that Dylan is the only thing that could stop him. Okay? And Jay has a theory, too, though, about why this just happened. That Venom was ripped off of Eddie Brock, or the Venom symbiote was ripped off of Eddie Brock. Tell him what you think about that.
Right. So Plan C, right? They don't really get into it, but they have that parting moment where they know they're not going to see each other anymore. And you could see that Venom, the symbiote Venom, is evolving. He doesn't react to so much stuff in that alternate universe. He's changing. He grows wings. He went through a lot of changes in this Donny Cates run. So is this part of the plan? Is Venom going to attach to Knull and somehow try to battle him this way? Because obviously it was a plan. They knew they weren't going to be together anymore. And they said their parting words. It's time to meet our maker. Basically, I love you. I love you. Thank you for everything. And now Venom is a part of Knull's horde. So we'll see where it goes, guys. I am super, super, super excited for this.
Yep. And another little hint. Definitely go grab this. Don't use this as you definitely want to read this story. It's amazing. We definitely recommend it. But make sure you go and you read after the story's over. There's an Heirs to the Throne section, which shows a lot of the creations that we know about so far from Knull. The Necrosword, the dragons, the Void Knight, Exelon, which is Wraith. Sorry. Yeah. The symbiotes, the Hive. And then there's one section that says other experiments. And that's alluding to something else that we don't know about. And could it be that void that we talked about in Doctor Strange 384? Maybe. I think that's going to be part of it. So make sure you guys read that. And then there's also a timeline of Knull. That's pretty cool. That kind of lays out his history, his origin and where it came, how it started, where it wound up. That's pretty cool. You definitely want to read that. I missed that the first time around. I found it the second time around. And then there's a checklist. It tells you the order about the tie-ins and stuff. This week's tie-ins were horrible. Atlantis attacks a dragon. I'm going to save you the time to read. Atlantis attacks, a dragon shows up on the last page. They fight it. Nothing. Union number 1 one of the new team members, first appearance, well, Britannia, she dies. Okay, spoiler alert. She dies. Sorry about that. She dies on the last page. She cuts the dragon's head off, but then the dragon spikes her through the chest. So she dies, but they know they got a fight on their hands. So the tie-ins really aren't worth reading this week. But the next one up, I think, is Venom 31, right, Jay? So
yep,
that's going to have some good, that's going to have some stuff in it. So
super excited, guys. Venom is back. This did not disappoint. Go out and read it.
Yeah. So I think that about wraps it up, right? I mean, we could probably talk about this for 2 hours, but I don't want to go anymore. So you got anything to say before we get out of here, Jay?
Guys, till the next time, it's been great. Don't say we didn't warn you. We've been talking about this for a while. Knull is the truth. And guys, enjoy that read, man. It's going to be a fun ride.
Read the book, definitely. Do your own research on the other books that we mentioned. We're not telling you you got to buy them. I hate doing that, but we like giving you guys a heads up. But do your own research, you know what I mean? So we're going to get out of here. Hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Tell us what you guys thought about the story. And for Pressable Defects, it's Matt Forge and the Butcher 105, and we'll catch you on the next video.